This song has been the it song for the past month. It went viral, it reaches 36 million views in 5 weeks. But what exactly is the song about? Is it really anti-lolicon song? Or is it actually pro-lolicon? Or maybe it's just a meme? Hi guys, it's me Udin, and today we're not gonna talk about a Vocaloid song because on today's song analysis, we're gonna talk about Shigure Ui Requiem or Loli God Requiem. Before we get into the song and the lyrics as usual, I'm gonna need to explain, the stance of the song, because even if most of you already know, probably a lot of people still misunderstood what the song is about. So, who is Shigure Ui? She's basically a professional illustrator who works on a lot of stuff from games to manga to animes to character designs. She's also known as the mama or the illustrator of Ozura Subare from Hololive Japan. But aside from her job as an illustrator, she actually also streams, and she started streaming as a virtual YouTuber from 2019. And her VTuber model is not actually this 9-year-old Ui-chan that we see on the Loli God Requiem music video, but it's actually a 16-year-old high school girl, Shigure Ui. This Loli form of Shigure Ui was originally just an illustration she made on a whim while she was streaming herself reading letters that her friends back in primary school sent to her. So she made this 9-year-old Ui-chan to make it seem like whatever things that is mentioned in the letter, it's this kid's doing, not me. Maybe she did some embarrassing or mischievous things in the past, I don't know, but it's like, that's the origin of it. But now that people see it, they started to use that as like a punishment to her. So like whenever she collabs with other streamers and then she lost a game, they would like purposely tease her by like making her use that Loli version. If you are on the VTuber fandom, especially on the JP side, you probably know Kenmochi Toya. But if you don't, he's basically one of the biggest male VTuber in Japan, and he's basically someone who openly admits himself as a lolicon. I don't know if it's like a joke or like if it's real, but it's basically something that everybody knows kind of thing. So correct me if I'm wrong, but loli is more of like a term for a body size for characters, while lolicon is like a term for like a genre or like for people who enjoys media portraying young childlike looking characters in a romantic or a sexual setting. So whenever I use the word loli here, basically I'm referring to like the size. Now back to Shigure Ui. Basically, one of the streamers she lost to while playing a game was this Kenmochi Toya, and like as a punishment, she was asked to do a stream in her like loli form while reading Q&A from Marshmallow. And this was like her first loli haishin or like her loli stream. The second time she showed up in her loli form is also a collab with Kenmochi Toya, where she basically lost again and is asked to use her loli form again while singing for like an hour. The third time she showed up with this loli form is also because she lost another game with another person. So in total, she only has 3 like loli haishin, and like most of her content is basically her in her 16-year-old form. I do think she kind of hates to show up in her loli form because it was mostly a punishment, and there was a time where she was asked to do something in her loli form and she swear like ksa. So yeah, but I don't think it's because of it's problematic like the way most of the Western fandom sees it, but more like because it's embarrassing. Like she's most definitely a professional illustrator and an adult with a lot of experiences, so I think the idea of acting like a 9-year-old is cringe. And this is important to explain the song later on because in Japan, at least most of them, there's no fight between pro shipper and like anti-shipper every 5 business days. Everything that counts as problematic in a Western point of view is very much normalized in Japan. Maybe even your favorite mangaka, singer, idol have publicly said or admit or joke about something that you probably really hate, especially those mangakas. They instead have this very strong unwritten rule in publishing or consuming media, and that is to use the right tags. So whatever you publish on the internet, you have to carefully use the right tags for everything. That way, people can like mute or block contents they don't like, and people who like it can search for it. And then everything is peaceful. Not just on like controversial stuff, but also on like pair names, like shipping, who's the top, who's the bottom. It's that specific. And to be honest, not just in Japan, but like in most Asian countries, even in my country, especially the non-English speaking ones, most of the even use these set of rules. And like if you still harass people even after they're using the right tags, it's like your fault for not muting that content and for not blocking that creator. So like in that position, if you still harass the people who use the right tags, you are the one who will be harassed by like the majority of people, which is very different with the western side of the fandom. In like the eastern part of the fandom, it's more of a culture to not be a bother to other people, while in the western part of the fandom, it's very easy to see that the majority people are not okay with those kind of things, and it's more like even if it's fiction, it's still disgusting. Me personally, I really don't like this kind of content, and if I can be honest, I have the utmost huge discomfort when it comes to like children. Like I don't have a problem if you want to do the nasty with like a, but like when it comes to children, I fiction or not, I'm not okay with it. And like a lot of the characters that I like are actually cutesy and wholesome, and a lot of people know I really love Klee from Genshin Impact. And when I searched Klee merch on Google and found out that she has a booba mousepad, well actually not a booba mousepad, more like the ones where it's her butt that's sticking out, but it's basically the same, I honestly feel like throwing up. So yeah, that's just me though. I don't know about you. But yeah, how people treat lolicons here is basically more like, ugh, kimo, ew, disgusting. But they're not like cancelled or like attacked the way Western fandoms do to their creators. Seen more as like a weird fetish. And yeah, this has become some kind of an inside joke between her and her fans. It's like a thing they use to tease her, and it has become like a whole dynamic between them, which is exactly the approach she used in her song Loli God Requiem. Basically, from what I have gathered, this song has a trope, and the correct term for it is mesugaki. Mesu probably from female, and gaki basically means brat. According to Urban Dictionary, a mesugaki is a kusogaki, who is a brat, devilish little girl, oftentimes a loli, who teases adult men, typically in a vulgar manner, sometimes overly promiscuously, which is something that we will see a lot in this song. In the lyrics, she said, "In the future, I don't want you to like me," which means maybe when I grow up. "Wash your mouth with muddy water. Let's meet in court. Come, Mr. Officer, take him away." And nothing but delusional, what a pitiful person. She also even said, "Do you really let your parents see you like this?" Which is funny to me. If you're not a decent person, hurry up and go disappear, please. And like, yeah, this is the whole shtick of the song. Even the cover illustration shows Ui-chan holding this yellow whistle thingy, which is also mentioned in the song, and it says, "If I ring the bell, this is what will happen." This bell she's referring to is like a security whistle, which is a standard thing to be owned by young Japanese like school children. And if you pull or like press the button, it will like emit a very loud noise and sends like an information of your location to the police, which is really cool. I think all countries should have this to protect children. The lyrics itself is pretty creative, like they use a lot of homophones, like in the part where they say "kyusai no requiem," which translates to salvation of requiem, but also kyusai is like the way Japanese people say age 9, like Q is 9 and sai is age, so kyusai is like 9-year-old, which is also the age of this Loli Ui-chan. There's also a part where they say "tude," and it's written as big kiss, but apparently it has the same sound with prison. Speaking of prison, there's also a part where she says, "Alright, all of you in prison, it's time for the fan meeting in jail." Which again, I think refers to what she does with her fan, because in her Loliform 3D debut, the whole theme of it is basically a prison where she's like in the middle of it, and like around her there's like prison cells, and she's like answering questions from fans. Another one, there's also a part where she says, "Minna sarashiagemasu yo," which basically means I'll expose all of you, but the word used for expose here is sarashiage, which apparently also means L plus ratio in like Japanese. Again, the whole theme of the song is like basically the dynamic of her and her fan base. Like there's even a whole verse where it's just her insulting them, like "Zako, Kimo, Urusai, damatte moratte ii desu ka?" And like when she insults them, there's like a background voice of like men saying "Tasukaru." which is like something VTuber fan uses after like they see something they count as like fan service, or like something cute, or like something they like from like their favorite streamers, something like that, which explains it even better. I think her fan base is also called gomi, which means trash. Like basically they're enjoying this. So yeah, the whole lyrics is about insulting the lolicons, but ultimately it's more about her response to her teasing fan base. So yeah, I just wanted to clear this to people who didn't know, because I see a lot of pro loli people mocking people who didn't know and use it as like a gotcha moment, like saying, oh, who's gonna tell them, oh, they just made a pro loli song viral. To be fair, if you don't know who Shigure Ui is, or like the context of this video, which is like an inside joke, I wouldn't blame them if they think this is an anti-lolicon song, because the whole song basically says like, oh, you're creepy, you're disgusting. So yeah, I usually put my 2 cents after each song analysis video, but I don't want to get attacked, and I don't want people to see this as an attack to Shigure Ui. But to put it simply, I am anti-lolicon, so just imagine my whole response while researching this. But even so, I think the way internet responds to the song, both from those who like this kind of content and who dislikes this kind of content, is a very interesting phenomenon. Like it can create so many interesting conversations. Like how does a certain demography from a different region who consumes this same content have like different response to things like this? Like, is it the culture? Is it out of habit? Even though in both regions there are people who like against it, and there are people who are like agrees with it in each region. Also, like, how much do you think a piece of fiction affects someone's real desire? Is it like liking the villain does not make me want to keyword someone, so me liking a lolly does not make me want to do stuff to children? Like, is it comparable? Is it like a correct comparison to you? Even though keywording someone and essaying someone has very different motive and consequences. Or like maybe in this world that is already crumbling down, where like a huge percentage of our generation is already so depressed, is it really our responsibility to think about all of this when we just want to enjoy a song? Like, should we just wrap it up with the ultimate phrase of it's not that deep? Like, I don't know. What I know is insulting each other over an opinion is never going to end up doing any good, because like that way both sides will not listen to each other. Might as well just watch another episode of your favorite anime. But yeah, in conclusion, this song is not the anti-lolly song people thought it was. I don't think it's a pro-lolly song either. I think essentially this is just a song made by a creator to her fan base as a joke, but it went viral out of context. So yeah, that's all from me. Thank you for watching this video. I'm a little bit nervous with this one because it's a little controversial. But yeah, please do not harass anyone ever, including me, for this kind of things, because again, it never end up good. Thank you so much for this video. That's all from me for now. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.